Hello everyone, welcome to the Clay Battle Tournament 2015. No, this little circle behind me is not the battle tournament. This is just a little thing I was doing for fun. Anyway, the Clay Battle Tournament 2015. The Clay Soldiers mod is a mod that I've enjoyed for quite a while. It's a mod I just go reinstall every now and then. Plop down some soldiers, have them fight to the death, and just a fun little... It's like playing with toy soldiers, except the toy soldiers are actually capable of doing the fighting themselves, and you don't have to try imagining the crazy situations that involve little green army men fighting Lego people over a volcano of sand and water. Yeah, I did that when I was a kid. Anyway, this video is not actually going to be the first set of battles. This is going to be an introduction to how this entire thing is going to work. There are 20 different teams of clay soldiers. There are 7 different battle arenas. And the battle arenas, they took a little bit of time to work, but the thing that actually took the most amount of time was deciding the loadout for each team, which I did a little point buy system for upgrades. Every soldier starts out with a set of leather armor, goggles, a stick, a shield. There's 36 of them, 32 basic soldiers, and 4 elite soldiers. The arena choice is going to be randomized for each battle. Upgrading the soldiers, the basic ones use 10 points to upgrade, and elite ones use 15. I think that I was a little bit generous with the points in this because I've never done it before. Probably could lower those points a bit. Oh, they also can trade in basic equipment to gain 1 extra point for each of the basic items that they sacrifice. Meaning, a basic soldier can have up to 13 points that they can spend on upgrades, and a elite one can have 15, plus an elite one can take 1 upgrade that the basic soldiers of their team used. Also, you cannot lose the goggles. Now, I said no egg and stealth for this because, well, the egg item gives them stealth, but goggles cancel out the stealth. And since every team has goggles, that would mean the egg would be completely useless, and therefore not worth having. Anyway, main hand upgrades. They replace or enhance the stick. A sharpened stick gives you 2 points. And, of course, if you get rid of your stick, you can't sharpen the stick, so sacrificing your basic stick kind of cancels out your ability to have a sharp stick. Bone costs 2 points as well. I have that calculated as it's already counting you forsaking your basic stick, so getting rid of your stick to get a bone and have 1 extra point, not going to fly. It costs 3 points normally, but since you lose the stick, it only costs 2. Blaze Rod will give you 1. Glistering Melon, while it makes it so that the soldier is not going to fight, it can be used creatively, so 2 points. And the Shear, I'm counting it as the same as excuse me. I'm counting it the same as losing your stick, because the Shear does pretty crap damage. Also, if you take the bone, you can't use a mount. That's a default thing. I just wrote that down to remind myself. Shield upgrades, or offhand, is a Shear for -1, which, again, it does very little damage, so it's kind of like taking a handicap. Iron Block gives you a studded shield. Gravel for range. Snow, this is different because A snowball, a snow layer, and a snow block all have different levels of uses. So just to kind of reflect that, I gave it a 0, a 1, and a 2. Fire charge gives 2. Emerald 2 or 5, again, different levels of use. You can either have an emerald gem or an emerald block, and they have different amounts of use. An emerald block, of course, has 9 times as many uses as an emerald, but I figured making it 9 times as expensive just wouldn't work out well. Mainly because no one could afford it. Quartz, that's only a 1 because quartz, it just does a knockback thing. Now you can either pick a core upgrade or a mount upgrade for like a bonus type thing. Pretty much all the core upgrades only cost 1 point because they don't do much. I'm not too certain about the brick. That might actually be a 0 because a brick immobilizes your soldier. And then the mounts, I know that the horses and Pegasus and bunnies, they have some variation to their stats, but in general, they are just things to help you move around. So I got the points broken down accordingly. Bonus upgrades, these are not really combat focused things. Sugar gives cost 2, wool padding for your leather, gas tier to heal bricked soldiers. I'm not sure this is actually a useful item right now. We're currently using the 2.0 beta of clay soldiers, and some of the stuff has been temporarily removed. Like, I noticed that my soldiers, they don't drop upon their death like they did in previous versions, which is why there's no clay in the list anywhere, because there's no soldier to revive. I think the same thing is going to happen with the brick soldier stuff, where the gas tier's only purpose is going to be useless, but I just couldn't really think of anything else, any reason not to put it in there, in case I'm wrong. Lily pad pants, that costs 1. A brown mushroom, this is kind of replacing the food for the basic soldiers. A brown mushroom is a healing item that heals a specific amount of HP. I think it was 10. But it's like a 1 use or 2 use only. 8 soldiers. The basic or elite soldiers can use to buy 8 more basic soldiers equipped exactly like the rest of the basic soldiers. So if the basic soldiers all spend all 10 points on getting another 16 soldiers, they're just going in with basic equipment and the hope that sheer numbers will be able to win the fight. And sugarcane, it's a enhancement for range attacks. That's cost 3. Elite only upgrades. I actually meant to change this. This is 2 extra elite, cost 4 points. Redstone cost 5, which that might be a little bit overpriced for what redstone does. I don't know. Redstone makes it so that a soldier is blinded and stunned and will not fight back. So I think it's kind of worth having it as high as it is. Slime costs 3 points. It just makes all the opponents stick. Red mushroom, that's poison. Steak, healing item. It costs 4 points because steak is so spendy, and I'm only going to be focusing on having steak because, well, it does a good amount of hunger restoration, which translates into health restoration, and it's usable 4 times. So a little bit better than the brown mushroom, but in some aspects worse. Still, it's just better to have it like this. A blaze powder, that's an instant kill for 1 soldier. It's a one-shot item, but because it can take out an enemy elite instantly, it's gotta be worth the 7. And the nether brick core will set any enemies attacking in melee on fire. So, just because of the damage over time, that's going to be a 4. And I believe that was it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so, all the upgrades are explained. Now, the teams are already randomly chosen. Their loadouts are equipped. We got Short Circuits, Molotov, Pumpkin Pounder, Melon Maniacs, Frost Valkyries, Pyro Orange, Magenta, Flash Blue, Yellow Horde, Leapin' Lime, Pink Lightning, Grey Thuds, Cyan Sailor, Purple Thunder, Blue Shells, Bounding Brown, Green Geckos, Roaring Reds, Dark Lancers, and Grey Grunts. Yeah, Dark Lancers are the ones that don't really have a kind of matching name, do they? Well, I guess Pink Lightning also doesn't. And Yellow Horde. In general, most of the soldiers do have kind of a matched name system. So those are the 20 teams. You can guess as to what their loadouts are going to be. I'm not going to show them all. You gotta see Short Circuit because I just wanted to show how the loadouts work. And over here is the battle board. This is going to have all the teams once they are randomly chosen into which tier they're going to be in. I might change this up a little bit. In fact, I'm pretty sure I will. I kind of want to do a elimination round for the initial 20. And then have a few randomly selected teams that lost the elimination round given a second chance. So, in all, I think I want to end up with 16 teams remaining. So, eliminate 4 out of the tournament completely. Anyway, that's enough about the soldiers themselves. How about the arenas? The arenas are all done using a combination of vanilla blocks and modded items. Right now I'm using the Resident Rise pack, the Project Flux version, just because it's got a few useful items in it, and it makes it so I can make a more interesting arena. So the arenas, like this one's got some spike traps in it, and all the arenas have a gateway from Ancient Warfare 2, and a remote button to allow me to open the gates and let out the clay soldiers. This little nexus here in the middle, it doesn't do anything other than draw the soldiers' attention to the middle of the arena, causing their teams to start pouring out, where they will end up noticing, hey, there's opponents for me to fight and I must go kill them now. The reason I'm not using the nexus is because, well, the nexus has kind of not gained its functionality from the previous versions of the pack. I can't open it, I can't put in items that each soldier is going to come out with. All I can do is put a random soldier in there. Let me demonstrate for you. All I can do is this. And then soldiers of that color spawn, but they do not have any equipment. They only spawn to like 16. They don't really have any purpose. So there's no real purpose for the Nexus, in my opinion. Let me replace that Nexus. There we go. So this is the Spike Pit hallway. Over here we have the Valley of Eternal Flame. I imagine this one's going to be one of the most hazardous arenas that the clay soldiers can fight in, because the arena itself is probably going to kill quite a few soldiers. And I need to turn this thing off. There we go. And I forgot to turn this one off too. Jeez, I am really bad at turning my stuff off. Let's see, was it number 1? Yep, there we go. So this is Frost River Valley. The terrain is fairly interesting. It's got some ice pillars. The rivers are frozen. I don't know how well that's going to cause the clay soldiers to slip around, but I'm hoping it'll make it so that there's a little bit of slippiness for them to deal with. And over here we have... what was I calling this one? I think I was just going to call it Treetop Turmoil. This one's a little more interesting. I had to do some major adjustments to what it was originally because the soldiers weren't coming out of the battle gates at all. I assume it's because they did not see the Nexus because it was down like there. And they only really start attacking things when it's in their line of sight. So I'm hoping that this arena works. If it doesn't work out during the tournament, I'm going to have to remove this arena from the list, even though it's one of my favorite ones, design-wise. Okay, that was a number 3. There we go. And over here we have we have a slightly asymmetrical map. There's a river on this side and some dunes over here, which I had to remove because the clay soldiers, again, line of sight needed to know where to go attack. So I had to kind of remove part of the dune that was in the way. It was meant to be like they have a little bit more fortification against potential range attacks, while these guys have a little bit more defense against melee attacks because the melee attackers would have to cross through the river. And of course the cactus is just there to do some damage. And over here we have... what was this one called? Oh, it was an ocean one. I'll remember the name eventually. This was number 5. But this one's going to be more of a tricky arena for them to deal with because they're going to have to be going through water, and water slows them down a bit, making them more susceptible to range attacks. So anyone with lily pad pants or turtles is going to have a significant advantage in that arena. And then this one is basically just a straight up charge and attack, or so you would think. I'm sure the more observant of you notice that there's a little bit of a line right there next to that pillar. That's because I'm using some arrow traps. So clay soldiers will step on the pressure plate, activate arrow traps, either damage their own team, or some of them are aimed at the opponent's area, meaning possible free damage on their part. The arrows are not going to do too much damage. It's like 1 or 2 damage. So, more than... the clay soldier can more than handle that. Alright, so how about we end this video with me randomly picking the clay soldiers that will do battle against each other in the elimination rounds. I'm going to set something up for that quick, and I will be right back. Okay, so here's the randomizer. Oh boy. This has gotten to be a little bit of a big mess. But I like it. That means I have no idea who's coming next and who will be fighting who at all. The only problem is when there's these gigantic gaps, or when there's these gigantic piles up. We got 2 people. It's alright, I can send this other one back. Okay, so the first 2 that will be fighting. Ooh, Magenta. And Short Circuit. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Alright, you are going to have to go back. I should put down some chests in order to keep track of who's fighting who. And I have no idea how that happened. It went off the rails. Alright, let's get you back in line. There you go. And Orange, you get back in there too. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Give me a chest. There we go, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's all the elimination rounds. No, you get back in here. Maybe I should have gone with their books. Yeah, probably would have worked better, but I can grab the books myself, so. And there's the next two fighters. Kind of came right after each other, but I have no idea who they are. Oh look, light blue. And the melon. Alright, next batch of fighters will be the gray ones and the other gray ones. Wow. That definitely was not something I was expecting to see. Okay, and then the next one will feature you and you. Ooh, pink lightning and pyrorange. And the next bout will be the Yellow Horde versus the Pumpkin Pounders. Alright, we're halfway through this, and there's significantly less chest guards. Yeah, I still managed to get two at once. Purple Thunder versus the Smog Hoppers, that's what it was. Smog Hop. Cow, you don't belong here. Alright. Cyan Sailors versus the Lime Leapers. Oops. Wrong button. Alright, 3 more rounds to pick. Oh. That's alright, I will just do that. Alright, so this is going to be Blue Shells versus the Frost Valkyries. Dark Lancers versus the Roaring Reds. And the final two, the Bound in Brown and the Green Geckos. Alright, so the elimination teams are picked. And with that, the Clay Soldier Battle Tournament 2015 can finally get underway. This is going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys look forward to it. See you in the first video coming maybe tomorrow. I don't know, we will see. Take care, guys, and goodbye.